Yo, what's going on, Bueller Gang? And today, I'm going to be covering how to use my watch list levels, how to use the levels, all that good stuff. We're just going to go over some breakdowns from today. We'll go over some other stuff from other channels that you can utilize, and really just how to use your tools. But today, we posted a SPY game plan and a triple Q game plan, pretty usual. Today, we talked about longs above 495 to 496.05, or a hold of 492.50s. Shorts below 492.50, or 489.30, 49, or a rejection of the previous day high supply. So if we can get a move up here, reject, or break down under here, or break down under here. A couple game plans in case, we move or have a crazy day, or in case we have a boring day. Triple Q game plan, longs above 429.15, 430s, or a hold of 417.50s. Can also look for shorts below 427.50 or 425. So we're going to go over that. And then I'm also going to be posting one main update each day for each of these, talking about what happened, which game plans worked, how did they not work in case they invalidated. Today they happen to work, so this is just the scenario we're going over today. We'll also go over what happened afterwards. Were there any other opportunities, or what did the price action do? And then also talk about what is the main range of the day at the current point of the time of that post. So at noon today, this is what our range would be. And then I did the same thing for the triple Qs, pretty similar breakdown, just a little bit of different typing. And then I'm kind of telling everybody what we're going to be doing. They're going to be giving the initial game plan each morning, going to give the main update, of course, midday, kind of after lunchtime, during lunchtime. And then, of course, end of day each day, I'll post new levels for the next day. That'll be, of course, on SPY and triple Q. But let's go over the main game plans here on SPY and triple Q. So here on SPY, talking about longs above 495 or 496.05. So we're looking over a break over this previous day high supply, which also happens to be the new recently made all-time high. So that's what we're kind of looking over, just new highs for continuation. And if we get the pullback, which is pretty normal, we're looking for 492.50 to hold, or the previous day demand, which in this case, it's the previous day low, the previous day open, and the top of that red candle, which also includes our bigger time frame level. So it's almost like 4 levels in one highlighted right here, and that's why we have it like that. So that's why it's very important, but it's why it's an area of buyers, where an area of demand is. So they ended up failing very hard through 492.50. In my update too, you'll see the entry types we talked about. I'll scroll down and go to it. We talked about how on the 5 minute there was a 40% entry. You can see that here. They even rejected, gave you a single candle retest. And then on the 1 minute 80%, they gave you the retest entry that we like to look for. So if you look here, you get your new low, which this is kind of cool on its own, just seeing their structure here, seeing structure break, going from the high of the move before structure broke to the low of the move before it kind of slowed down, before this green candle came in. And you can see even there, they gave you a very good short-term retest, even from that. But even if you waited just for the watch list level, 492.50, you could go from the break of it to the point of where they first made their move. So they made their move under here, closed, and then retook it the next candle. Okay, nothing to really grab there, right? So we'll wait on that. Next candle, 40% entry. Of course, this candle's still battling because this 5 minute candle just closed over. This is the one we're talking about. This is like the last retest candle you saw in the 5 minute. They closed back under 492.50, and then guess what they do under these two areas here? And it's kind of cool. If you want to, you can just highlight it. But if you go from like where they struggled here, like they broke the level, clearly bears are showing up, and then bulls retook it. If you just highlight like all of this junk, the fighting, the battling around the price action, and then just like move over to the right a little bit. This is actually where you'll see bears or bulls retake. Now right here, bulls, sorry, could have easily have crossed back over, held this higher low, and then continued back on, retest today's open, break over it, go make new highs. That could have definitely happened. Today, that's not what happened though. They end up giving you a very good rejection with a nice wick on top, another wick on top, a new low close. By the way, this is like a new open range breakout. Some of us will call it the 60%, the 90%. This is just added confidence because you have a break of a level. They tried to retake, and then they gave you another break of it again. So it's like all this liquidity that just got trapped in thinking it was going to reverse, just got trapped again, and now we're going back down lower, and it's ended up being a bearish retest. Again, order of operations, we had a lower open, so we're bearish until we take this open. We should be seeing everything as a lower high until proven otherwise, right? Just following normal trend navigation. And you'll see, under today's open, just draw, and you can even draw it if you want to, but you'll see, like, the biggest move that was made under today's open was this move, just getting back up to here. And you see they rejected it multiple times. I know I drew that not flat, but just interesting how they kept it there. But again, getting back to the game plan, again, seeing multiple types of the 80% entry on the 5 and the 1 minute, and then seeing the 5 minute open range breakout as well. We see how the 490s, well, let me zoom this back out. Oh, come on. You'll see how the 490s held up after the lower open and leg down intraday charts. We saw that leg down. We saw the hold up here at 490s. After the retake of 49250s, we saw a short-term retest, or we only got a short-term retest. You just have this nice hammer candle holding it as support. This is a lot better of a show of hands. This can lead to a lot more powerful if we move back up to 495s. We'll see. If not, then we either just see a range trade in between this, or they end up cracking back under this, and we go maybe see either they hold a higher low on the bigger time frame charts, or they're going to hold under this area on the smaller time frame charts, and then maybe tomorrow we'll be talking about this range between this and here and here. But we'll see. Then, of course, going over the main range. And then now for QQQ. Get over this. Let me actually make the chart, like, make sense now. All right, yeah, we'll put it right there. That makes sense. All right. So on the triple Q game plan, again, just kind of go over it again. Longs above 429.15, 430s, or a hold of 417.50s, which you can clearly see I'm into type 427.50, not 417. Y'all wish we were at 417. But you can see, though, we had the, oh my bad, let me get to the open. We had a little bit of a lower open, not as bad looking as SPY, and then they ended up closing back into it. Okay, not bad. The very next 5-minute candle, though, closed under today's current day open and the supply of the previous day high, which again was just kind of a combined area of the high, which is the all-time high, by the way, the level that was right here at 430, the psychological level, and we were going to add the supply, which is actually about right here, but I wanted to include the previous day close just because it was not really that big of an area, so I thought, why not? Let's include it. It's a combination of areas, right? That's really all we're doing. It's an area of supply. It's an area where sellers are present. So we can see they closed outside of it and under today's open, again, giving us that initial bearish pressure. And then they just brought it all the way down to the 428 area. Gave us a little bit of a short-term retest, and then they continued their dump from there. So we'll see what fib ended up popping up from here. So you can see after the break of today's open to the low of the move before the slowdown, they gave you a midterm retest, aka the hidden retest. This is the hidden retest. Very strong. Very, very strong. You can see after getting us, and it's not just by itself. When I say very strong, I hope I can elaborate on this more. It's not just, oh, they broke under this fib and held it and broke under. Like, no, this is after they gave us a little bit of a lower open. The bulls retook again. They lost instantly in the next 5 minutes. So we have a little bit of bearish momentum stepping in on the intraday chart, and then you got the fib to step in. So it wasn't just a retest. It was a retest of a break lower. So it's two things stacking together to give you higher probability. You can see they do it again here if you go from the high to here, or if you go from the low to here. They retest that, reject it. So you get a little bit of an indecision here, 100%. I'm not going to argue with you there. But then you get another dump right under it again, and guess what they do? If you go from the low, from the level of where they broke, to the low of the move before the slowdown, another hidden midterm retest pops up. Again, just drawing our fib this natural way. You can see they get down to this 425. We talk about that in the update. 425 held up very well after the move down and is now rallied into supply of previous day highs between 429.15 and 430. They didn't hit it perfectly, but they got close to it. But we talked about the retake of 427.50s was only done with short-term effort by bulls so far. We talked about the same thing on SPY. You can see all they really did was just hold it with a open range breakout and then a little bit of a hammer candle, nothing crazy. And maybe if you go from here to the top of that candle, that's holding a good golden pocket of it. But I'm not even going to include that. But a nice hammer popped up there as well as there before making that new high. So you can see they're definitely holding into the top part of that range for now with a good retest. We talked about this on SPY. If you go from the level of breakout, so 427.50, to the high of the move before the slowdown, you can see they are also holding that same midterm hidden retest that we talk about so much. If you go, excuse me, if you go from the level on SPY, and by the way, you can remove this if you want. If you go from the level here on SPY to the high of the move before the slowdown, you can see they are also trying to hold a hidden or midterm retest above the golden pocket and control point after retaking the level that we said. If this level is a pivot point. Every level is a pivot point besides your supply and your demand. So you can play calls and puts on pretty much anything you see on the screen. But you have to get breaks or retests that make sense, right? If I'm going to get a break of this level, right, and then we slow down here, I want to see selling pressure stay under the golden pocket retest of that move from the level break to the low of the move, right? And the same thing to the upside, right? If I see this level holding, right, and I see them get up all the way to here, I want to see this continue to hold, and see continuous higher lows. Same thing for when you retake levels that we're focused on, like in this instance. So I hope this video is helpful to you. Another big breakdown that is very helpful to me, at least, and this is something I do purely out of me doing it for myself, but this is something I also do for the chat, is every weekend I post this weekly watch list, And it's not just for finding other plays. This also has really good breakdowns on SPY and the Qs and SPX on bigger and smaller time frames, showing you exactly what we're going to be looking out for and exactly where, right? So it's not ever just random, and there's an order to things. So please check this out. I highly recommend going through some of these and just kind of reviewing how some of them have worked out. And the same thing for my daily game plans. I urge you to go and review them yourself. What kind of entries pop up at what levels, and truly visualize price action with your you're getting mental reps. Really, you're visualizing as much as you can, so when it pops up in real time, you're a lot more ready for it, you're a lot more prepared for it. You know what to look for. And if you are someone who's getting into real trades, you're not going to be as hesitant or as scared or as volatile with your own trading. You're going to be a little bit more prepared, a little bit more stable and ready to go. So I hope this video was helpful to you. I hope some of this information helps you, and I will see you guys on the next one.